Welcome back. The backend is ready. Now we build the front end, the React page that shows the products table. In this episode, we learn what TypeScript adds to React, define our product type, build the page component, and render the table with proper empty state handling. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. It adds a type system on top of JavaScript. Every valid JavaScript file is also valid TypeScript. But TypeScript lets you add type annotations that describe what shape your data has. Why does this matter? In a regular JavaScript file, you can write product.name, a typo, and nothing will warn you. You will just get undefined at runtime and spend 20 minutes debugging. In TypeScript, if product has a name property, writing product.name will show a red underline immediately in your editor. The mistake is caught before you even run the code. TypeScript is also great for teamwork. When you pass a product object from one component to another, TypeScript guarantees both sides agree on what fields it has. The file extension for TypeScript with React is .tsx, T for TypeScript, X for JSX. Now let's define the product type. Open resources/js/types/index.ts. This is where we define the shapes of our data. Add the product interface. We define the product type as follows: start with the keyword export, then interface, then the name of your type. Make sure to add all the field that matches what we have on the backend side, meaning what is returned or expected by the controller. Let me explain this interface. Interface is a TypeScript keyword that defines the shape of an object. Product says, any object of type product must have exactly these fields with exactly these types. ID, number. Every product has a numeric database ID. Name, string, always present, never null. Description, string or null. The pipe character means or. This field can be a string if the user filled it in, or null if they left it blank. This matches the nullable we put on a migration column. Price, number. The float cast on the Laravel model ensures this arrives as a number, not a string. Stock, number. Whole numbers, but TypeScript's number type covers both integers and decimals. Is underscore active, Boolean. The Boolean cast on the Laravel model ensures this is true or false, not 1 or 0. Created underscore at, string. Dates are serialized as ISO strings in JSON. Now add the paginated products interface. This describes the shape of what Laravel's paginate method returns. Inside this object, we will have the data, current page, the last page, the total number of pages we have, and the links of each page. Data is an array of product objects. That is the square bracket notation. Product followed by current underscore page and last underscore page help us know where we are in the pagination. Total is the overall count. Links is the array of page navigation buttons. That's all we need now. Now we need to define the products page. Create the file at resources/js/pages/products/index.tsx. The path matters. Inertia resolves products/index to this exact file. Start with the imports and the component definition. Let me explain each part. Head from an Inertia.js/React sets the page title in the browser tab. It is the React equivalent of changing document.title. Import type. The word type here tells TypeScript to only import this as a type, not as actual JavaScript code. Since interfaces only exist at compile time, this keeps the compiled JavaScript bundle smaller. The @ prefix in the import path is an alias for resources /js. So its /types resolves to resources /js /types /index.ts. You never have to write long relative paths like //types. Interface props defines the expected props for this component. Products must be a paginated products object. Export default function products index, products, props. This is a functional component. The curly braces in the argument list are destructuring. We pull products directly out of the props object. The :props applies the type. The empty angle bracket fragment, the two angle brackets with nothing between them, is React's way of wrapping multiple elements without adding an extra div to the DOM. Add the page content inside the fragment. Start with a wrapper div in the header. Here we have multiple components that we need to import so they can work. The button component and the plus icon button. Import both UI components. You can add the plus icon in the same line of the package icon or as a separate line as I did here. Now you should see the red line under the button and plus icon components was removed. Only the setShowCreate function remained, which we need to define the React state here. Import the use state from React first. Now we need to define the setShowCreate function, which is defined inside the React state definition here. Don't worry, I will explain this in details in the next video. P6 is Tailwind for padding on all sides. MB6 is margin bottom. Flex item center justify between makes the div a horizontal flexbox. The H1 and button sit side by side, with the button pushed to the right. Button is a pre-built component from Shadcon that comes with a starter kit. We import it from its /components /UI/button. OnClick is a React event handler. The arrow function equals setShowCreate true will run when the button is clicked. We will define setShowCreate in the next episode. An empty state is what the user sees when there is no data yet. It is much friendlier than showing a blank table. We check products.data.length, the length of the data array, to decide which to show. The $:" syntax is a ternary expression, a one-line if or else. If the condition before the question mark is true, render the first block. If false, render the second block. Products.data.length equals 0 checks whether the data array is empty. If it is, show the empty state with the package icon from left-side React. If it is not, show the table. Border dashed gives the empty state a dashed border, which is a common UI convention for an empty container. Now let me show you how it looks like when we speak about the empty state. We have the header title. We have the add product button with the plus icon, as we expected with the no products yet message. This means the code works as we expected, and the products data check is working correct since we do not have any data or product in database. Inside the table block, build the HTML table structure. Products.data.map loops through every product in the data array and returns a table row for each one. Map is a JavaScript array method. It transforms each item in an array into something else and returns a new array. Key equals product.id is required by React whenever you render a list. React uses the key to track which items change when the list updates. Without it, React cannot efficiently update the DOM, and you will see a warning. We use product.id because it is unique for every product. Now add the cells inside each row. The first one will be for rendering the name column, which you just read it from the product list. Product.description. The double question mark is the nullish coalescing operator. If description is null, display a dash instead. If it has a value, display the value. This prevents showing null to the user. Product.price.toFixed. ToFixed is a JavaScript number method that formats the number to exactly 2 decimal places. 29.9 becomes 29.90. This ensures prices always show cents. The stock cell uses a template literal, a backtick string that can include expressions. The $sign and curly braces inside the string are evaluated as JavaScript. We check 2 conditions. If stock is 0, the text is red. If stock is 5 or less, orange. Otherwise, the default color. This gives admins an at-a-glance warning about low or out-of-stock products. The status badge uses a similar pattern. If is_active is true, green background. If false, red background. The ternary expression switches between 2 class strings based on the Boolean value. At the very bottom of the file, add the layout static property so the breadcrumbs show correctly. This tells the app's layout component which breadcrumbs to render in the header bar. It is a static property on the function, set after the function definition. Visit producthub.test/products in your browser now. You should see the empty state with the package icon. In the next episode, we add the create form. We have a working React page with TypeScript types, a table that maps over real data, conditional color coding, and an empty state. In the next episode, we add the create form. Using Inertia's useForm hook, a dialog component, and toast notifications to confirm when a product is saved. See you in episode 4.